Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and Steve joins us once again today to take a look at the PRS Silver Sky SE. And before we get on to that, I just want to tell you what I'm sort of pinning it up against and explain why I've chose this guitar as well. So this guitar is a USA 60s reissue in my favourite Olympic white. And the reason why I've chosen, you know, the more expensive USA version as opposed to my own Mexican versions or player series or anything like that is because to me this is what that guitar needs to be to make me want it then, if you know what I mean. Like that is trying to be a 60s reissue Strat, and this is, you know, aside from custom shop, it's the best 60s reissue Strat supposedly. It's a USA 60s reissue Strat. So yes, there's a cost difference, but you know, plenty of other people have compared these to player series and Player Plus and stuff like that. So I wanted to come at it from a slightly different sort of point of view and actually put the PRS a bit as, like, you know, a bit as the underdog sort of thing. So yeah, if you want to sort of go over the guitar then, you know, since it's your guitar and what you found with it and stuff.
Yeah, so I owned a US Silver Sky a couple of years ago, sold it, don't ask me why, wish I hadn't, blah blah blah. Great guitar, and I thought recently, okay, I've seen a few of these back on the market, lovely, I love the colour. I thought, let's try it.
I've got to say, that's the colour I would have out of all of them. Stone blue.
Stone blue, sky stone blue, something like that. It's a nice colour, and I thought, let's go for it. So, and I wanted to, you know, with Paul, do an honest review of what it came like from the shop, because we suspect that a lot of the reviews online have been sent very good guitars, well set up, etc.
Yeah, it's normal sort of path of the course that kind of happens, so, especially with a product that's so hot, like the SE Silver Sky.
Exactly. So this came from the shop last week, and it wasn't perfect, I gotta say. I love PRS, but this wasn't perfect, and just a few minor things. So the frets were pretty sharp, possibly even coming over the rosewood a bit, so I was a bit surprised with that. The nut was cut way too high. The string action at the first fret wasn't great at all, it was just way too high. The setup wasn't brilliant. I don't mind that so much because that's a personal thing. Some of the strings were all very strange, different heights from the others. Other than that, that was it really. But the frets I was a bit disappointed with. So what I did before I played it, I got to work on it, rounded off all the frets, polished them up, got the board nice and dark. I got some linseed oil on the rosewood board. Got some really good nut files at home, so I cut every nut slot so it's literally, if you finger at the 3rd fret, the string is only just hovering over the 1st fret. I mean, we're talking tiny amount, and it's perfect, absolutely spot on now. So the nuts all smoothed out, great action. The frets are smooth. There's absolutely no, I can't feel them at all now.
I mean, I suppose in fairness, it's not so much a criticism. It's just to say that you wanted it to be absolutely.
I was surprised because PRS pride themselves on every guitar that comes out of the box should be set up well, and the frets usually perfect.
So compared to when you unbox your USA, without you then fettling it to your own, preference, how would you say that was fresh out the box compared to the USA?
That was pretty spot on. The USA one was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
It had a bone nut. It was cut perfectly.
Yeah.
Oddly, I think I had one fret which was slightly high.
Yeah.
But I got my fret hammer on it, whacked it back into place.
Yeah.
It was all good.
Yeah.
But other than that, really good.
Fair enough. So there is you know, on that, so there is a difference out of the box.
Out of the box, don't expect it to be perfect. You might be lucky and get an absolute spot on one. I'm just really critical because
you want it to be right, and you know how to make it right. So
I like fixing guitars, and I like to get them perfect. But this is perfect now after about an hour's work. All right, so and I've got to say, I absolutely love it now. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so all I was going to do is go through the top of the guitar to the bottom, all the different specs from the USA version. So what have we got? We got non-locking tuners on this one.
I was going to say, yeah, they are non-locking, aren't they?
Non-locking.
Which, funny enough, I actually prefer on that guitar.
Yeah.
I'm not keen on the top lock-in PRS stuff. No. It looks a bit weird.
Okay. I mean, no issues whatsoever. The tuners are very good quality. They're nice and not stiff, but there's no wobble at all. They're very accurate. Really good tuners on them.
You can just tie in your hand, they feel right when you're using them.
The plastic, okay, this divides opinion, I've got to say.
I suppose we should put them both together so people can...
Let's face it, those look better. Alright, the button tuners are gorgeous on those, the vintage tuners.
Yeah, the old Cluson style.
But John Mayer wanted these, and I actually like them. They feel really easy to turn. Yeah, they're plastic, but I don't know. It just fits this, it just works for this guitar, I think.
Yeah.
And they do divide opinion.
Yeah. Just before you get onto the neck, can we just put them both in a minute? Because I've just noticed something looking as you were talking then. So if I can get the camera to focus, if you go side on with the guitar, so like that way around.
You're not supposed to touch it yet.
I know, that's the first time I've touched this guitar, by the way. We'll get to that in a minute.
To touch it.
But if you look on Fenders, they set it into the actual rosewood board, which on here they have done as well, but it's a much bigger nut. So that is quite different, which I didn't know until I've seen them.
This is like the nut you would get on a
normal PRS, really.
A normal PRS. It's not Graph Tech. I don't think it's a. It's definitely not bone. It's not. What's the other one they do?
Tusk. And
Tusk.
Stuff like that, yeah.
I think it is hard plastic. But
yeah.
If you cut it right, it's absolutely fine. I honestly don't think there's a difference really. I think if you cut the nut right, it doesn't really matter what the material is.
Yeah.
So that's fine. The truss rod cover is plastic. Whereas on the American one, it's machined aluminium, I think it was. Really nice little cover, but this is plastic, but then so is a Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So, it's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And I'm sure on eBay there'll be some people making these out of lovely aluminium, you can just upgrade that.
Yeah.
But not an issue. I've got to admit, the truss rod inside, it wasn't very clean inside. It was lots of... Would it be lacquer and
just untidiness? Fair enough.
So once I got the truss rod tool in there, I had to give it a bit of a left and a right just to clear any debris out of there.
Yeah.
So,
as long as the truss rod worked nicely.
Truss rods on PRS are the best truss rods. You always just get perfect truss rods on.
Is it a double action truss rod?
I think it is. I think it is.
I think it is.
I think they do a dual action on these. So fantastic neck. These are the same. I think it's the same size neck as the US one, pretty much, and it's the selling point of the guitar.
If you're wondering, by the way, why I keep staring down at this guitar, it's because other than that little thing just then, I have not yet touched this guitar at all. I haven't played a note on it. I haven't felt the weight of it. I've done nothing with it.
I didn't really want him looking at it.
Yeah, I wasn't even allowed to look at it really. Rosewood fingerboard there as well.
Absolutely stunning dark rosewood fingerboard.
And it does look good.
For this price point, you won't get a Fender with a rosewood board new now, will you?
Not new, no. You'd have to, it'd be Pal Ferry even on Player Press and stuff like that, yeah.
And this is as good a grade as rosewood.
This is where you get rosewood, is where you go to the US.
So you got the bird inlays, all really nicely done. The neck, the profile is just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I don't know that yet, because I haven't touched it.
It is. So it starts off, it tapers up as you go up the neck, it gets a bit wider. So for chords down here, it's absolutely fantastic. And then for solos, it's a bit wider. So if you've got bigger fingers, great.
Which, to be fair, again, it trying to be a 60s reissue Strat is very accurate, because I've been fortunate enough to play 3 original 60s Strats now, and each one has done that. You know, that compound sort of feeling.
As soon as you feel it, you know it's the one, straight away.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to grabbing it, because like I said, I'm sort of familiar with how they actually feel. You don't get that with, say, a Mexican reissue. They tend to be quite uniform, like my ones up there.
All the way, they're the same all the way.
So that's a nice touch, so put that in its favour.
So for me, the selling point is the neck, and also the pickups are, for me, best pickups. I don't know if I should say it. I've owned a lot of things.
It's hard to say. You've been on this channel with some nice Strats in your mind.
But there's something about the sound of these pickups. They spent years developing them. They're pretty much the same as the American ones. They voiced them the same. Yeah. They're amazing. They are more Stratty than a Strat. I just think stupid.
Yeah. Well, we will be putting these two against each other in this video.
Yeah, fantastic
But
pickups.
I was, I've heard you play it, although I haven't played it, and I must admit they did sound. If I wasn't looking, I'd say that was pretty close.
You get the same pickup switch and the knobs from the American one. I love the pickup switch. It's a bit fatter, very easy to.
Probably doesn't come off quite as easily.
Doesn't come off quite as easily. No.
I'm amazed how many of the Strats I've got still have that on, given how easy they are to take off.
Well, on the contrary, these were impossible to get off. I had to use 2 spoons to get these off, to get the plastic off. But they're lovely, these top hats. They're really nice to turn. Lovely, just right. Very nice. So that's all the same as the American counterpart. Same as the jack plug. It's got that lovely dome over it. Very nice looking.
Yeah. Rather than the sort of more industrial feel of a Strat or telly. Shank it in there.
Trem. Highlight of this trem for me is 2 things. The arm pushes and pulls out, and it's got a grub screw to keep it nice and stiff. And under each saddle is a groove, so these saddles won't go left and right, which I always think is been a bit of a bugbear of mine with Strats.
Yeah, you'll always find like the saddles wandering off a bit. Quite often with mine, I move them and just gently,
And for good intonation, you think they shouldn't really move that easily, should they? But it is what it is, and it's traditional. But you can't even see the groove.
Different bridge to the US though, right?
Yep, so this is a 2-point trem, whereas the US is a 6-point trem.
Right.
Both stable, both full-size blocks underneath. Very stable, I mean... Get the nut cut right, break the strings in. I've got this floating, they come decked, because John Mayer likes his decks.
Yeah, so that's interesting that they come that way.
Yeah.
Because I suppose that makes the setup a bit easier to a point, but also a lot of people do prefer it decked. So
they do, but when it's decked, there's 4 springs in the back. That's really hard to use. I mean, if you see all the Anston's videos, all the other videos, when they use the trem, you can see them going.
There's a lot of pressure.
Okay, I'll forget it. So I like to float these by just loosening the 2 claw screws at the back a bit. I just love a floating trem. I think they stay in tune a little bit better personally, because I think there's that nice even tension. So that's an easy thing to do, no problem. It's 2-point trem, so actually theoretically it probably stays in tune slightly better than the American one.
Yeah.
The trem arm, I'll let you hold that.
Oh, the first part of the guitar powered is.
How light is that?
Yeah, there's not a lot of weight to that at all.
It's a simple thing, but
it's kind of like a little. I don't know. Obviously, I'm just trying to gauge if it's short.
It's the same diameter.
Yeah, it's about yeah.
But it hasn't got that horrible. The Fender ones sometimes have that bend up there, which makes it. But this one goes right.
To be fair though, with Fender ones, it might be a consequence of only dealing in used guitars instead of new. But everyone I've felt has always been different. Either it's a little short Dave Gilmour one, or it's one that's like a Jag out here, or.
There's no. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Anyway, I love that, and I love the fact there's a grub screw, so you can get it as tight or as loose as you want.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Simple little things, isn't it?
I think most American Fenders nowadays have that, do they not? And it's a spring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still that little spring you lose as soon as you get the guitar. Boing, that's gone. All right, so
they've thought about that.
They've thought about that. It's the little things, You've got a nice little recess there, so you get your hand in here, and no problems at all. If we go to the back. 4 screws instead of 6, which is nice if you're taking this off. The US one doesn't come with a cover at all, which I quite like, to be honest. And underneath the US one, it's routed really lovely. It's very smooth. If I take this off now, it's not that pretty underneath, I'll be honest. I might give you a photo that I took to post. But
yeah, I can drop that in right.
Yeah, there was a lot of wood fibre in there, and actually there was a lot of wood fibre around the block, and I had to clear that a little bit. I wasn't overly impressed with that, to be fair.
Another one of them unseen sort of,
a lot of people would never take this off anyway, probably.
Although not one of my guitars has it on.
Fair enough. So anyway, full-size block, all good. The neck plate is a beautifully, just really nice steel neck plate with the SC Silver Sky John Mayer model on. So it's not blazoned over the front, it's John Mayer if you don't like him, it's just there. Really nicely done, beautiful tinted neck. Got the scarf joint just there. So it's...
yeah, I see, yeah.
So you can see that, so that just makes it a really strong neck, essentially.
Yeah, although Maple's strong as hell anyway.
It is, it is.
It's not very often you ever a Fender neck break in, to be fair. But yeah, it is going to be strong.
Quite big, oversized strap nuts.
Strap
buttons.
Yeah, that's one thing that actually annoys me on Fenders a bit. Is
first thing I do is put locking ones on Fenders.
Yeah. Even the bottle trip the bottle cap thing doesn't work that well because it ends up forcing the screw out the hole. Both of mine always fall off.
So this isn't a Fender bashing session, but Fender Strats are Fender Strats, and I love them, and I love the look of them. You know, even with all the little things that I think could be improved, but they've got versions of their guitars which have got those improvements. To be fair, So it's up to you what you want to buy.
I mean, before I play it, I just want to tell everyone where I'm at right now with the whole Silver Sky Strat, debate, if you will, and I am pretty much a bit of a stick in the mud, like I've said before, with being a traditionalist. And for me, when I look at a Strat, and it's not this sort of Strat, this 60s reissue, especially this one in Olympic White, I do sort of, a part of me dismisses the guitar. It's one of them things. That being said, though, over there is an Eastman, not a Gibson, hanging up on the wall. And again, the same sort of thing could be said. Do you know what I mean? Like we've gone for something non-traditional there. Yeah. So I'm sort of like half and half on like, would I just prefer a Strat for the sake of it being a Fender Strat over a Silver Sky?
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping that when I play this thing, I'm gonna know my opinion a bit more either way.
I picked it up too much.
Which is a nice segue, I think, onto playing the guitar.
Yeah, I don't think there was much else left. The only thing I wanted you to know as soon as you hold it is hold the two together and the first thought. All right.
Right. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. These
Here
aren't
we go.
light. Really.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
First time. Oh my god. Yeah. All right. So the first thing, the Silver Sky is a hell of a lot lighter.
Yeah.
What bodywood did you say? What bodywood it was?
Poplar.
Poplar. Yeah. Okay. So naturally, I guess it's going to be a little bit lighter.
Not overly traditional.
I forget what these are actually. The American ones. Would you
know?
Older, of course.
Probably older. But
American older.
When I came here today, and I used to own one of those guitars, and I forgot how heavy they are. They weighs a ton.
Yeah, yeah. But Strats do vary massive. Like Les Pauls, they that one there is like £9 odd, and that one there is only sort of £7 odd. Yeah. And they're both Mexican, but they do vary. But enough waffle on that. This is real time. My first impressions of a Silver Sky SE, and the weight is unreal.
It's lovely.
It is very, very light. I mean, it's Stratty.
It's Stratty. You heard it here, folks. It's Stratty.
Good sustain.
Good sustain.
And they're not overly hot either, these pickups. I thought they would feel a bit hot because they're they're set different to what I'd be used to seeing, I suppose, you know. But yeah, that is really Strat. Let's try out some of the old, usual Strat sounds. So bridge and middle. It's super, super Stratty, it has to be said.
Very dynamic pickups as well. You can play really gently, hit them hard.
Let's try some middle. I gotta admit, it does feel right under my fingers.
Yeah.
And the radius, by the way.
That's where we got to talk about the radius.
Yeah. When I seen that they were at 8.5, at no point did I not think that wouldn't feel familiar. If that makes sense, it absolutely feels familiar.
Yeah.
If you were to say, it feels in the middle between a vintage and a 9.5, it just feels like a normal Strat.
Feels at home.
But yeah, I mean,
I think
they are good pickups.
With the 8.5, you get that extra. You can bend a bit further without it choking.
You are right. They are very dynamic as well.
Clean up lovely too.
play, to be fair. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug that straight in now, just while the sound's in my mind, and you'll do a bit of that as well, going back and forth as we go on. Let's sync that. So just as a little bonus, what I wanted to do was put myself on the sort of in the hot seat, if you like. Now, if I play these guitars blindfolded, I'm 100% going to know the difference because it's too obvious. So Steve is going to pick and choose the guitars. I'm going to blindfold myself, and I am not going to know which of the guitars he's playing, and I'm just going to come out with which one I prefer the sound of when I can't see them. So I've got a guitar strap here, a big thick suede one, and I swear, I promise I will not be able to see anything.
It's not quite Anderton's TV, is it?
No, no, not quite, but it's the same principle. Whoops, it's quite hard to do this.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. You can tell this wasn't designed to be a blindfold. Alright, I can't see a sausage through that.
Have you got any circulation?
Just about.
Okay. Right, I'm going to
Right, I'll keep that there. I can't see now, genuinely can't see.
Right,
So.
I'm just going to swap guitars, or am I?
Yeah, well, you're just going to have to let a bit of time pass by, because that's so I 100% don't know which one you've got.
Okay, let me just... right.
I'll only see what you're doing when I'm editing the video later.
Okay.
Okay. I already established I like the sound of it, so that's not
Well, that's
it.
good.
Which one
That's good.
do I think it was the Fender? That's the question. Oh man, do you know what? Again, doing this live for real, it's so hard. It's actually harder than you think.
Yeah, I can imagine that was...
Um,
Go on, what's your first thoughts?
I'm going to go with my gut, right? And if I'm wrong, then so be it. You can all laugh at me. I think the one you just played was the Fender.
Yes, it was.
Oh, thank God for that. And I'll tell you why. Because earlier on in the video, I said that the PRS
You
has...
can take that off now.
Yeah, I suppose. The PRS has a bit more... It has more lows and more highs, so there's a bit more scope either side. And the Fender's a little bit more concentrated, so you hear... It's hard to explain what I mean, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the Fender, the difference between the lows and highs in the Fender is smaller than the difference between the lows and highs in the PRS. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's fine.
And that's what I heard.
That's
and it was
your
right.
Yeah, yeah, you were right.
So there you go. In terms of preference, though, I think in a mix, especially, those differences are occupied by other instruments anyway.
Yeah.
But noodling on your own, you do hear it. To be fair, and they, you know,
Yeah. It's just a different Strat sound, but they're both Strats. And every
it's
Strat...
both great Strat sounds.
Yeah.
But actually, on your own, you're going to probably get a fuller sound from the PRS.
Yeah.
Just based on that.
But we could play all of these Strats in this room. They're
That'd be all
all
different,
slightly
100%.
different. So it's preference.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But you got the difference. So that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I just went for my gut. I was going to change my mind, but
Yeah,
so there you go. A little bit of a bonus there. I almost want you to do the same now,
Yeah. Sure.
just so you can hear it. Should we do it? Just because why not?
Okay.
So
Mix up the
Steve's
guitars.
blindfolded now, and he's not going to know which one I'm plugging in. So I got it right. I'm interested to see if Steve will get it right, given that one of these is his own guitar. So. And you will hear the same pickup position on both guitars.
Thank you. I've never done this before. That is hard.
It really is hard. No, I ain't done it like that before.
Okay.
Gut feeling.
Gut feeling
Just have to go
is
your gut feeling.
first was PRS and that was the Fender. That's my gut.
You're wrong, dude.
No.
Yeah, honest.
Wow. Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, the PRS. In fairness, going neck and middle did make that tricky. That's the position I chose on both.
Yeah.
Neck and middle.
Wow. I mean, it
yeah.
wasn't. It
So
wasn't
what
a
made you
huge-
think that?
When we played both originally, I thought the Fender sounded a bit more milder and a bit more mellower,
Yeah.
and I thought that was a touch brighter maybe. But that time round, I just couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fascinating, that, isn't it?
Right, I'll give you one chance to redeem yourself.
God.
On the
All
bridge
right.
pickup.
Bridge pickup.
On the bridge pickup this time.
Okay. Bear in mind, I saw you put that down then, so
You're not going to know which one I pick up.
well, no, I won't.
So we bridge pickup on both. Not messing around with volume control or anything. like that.
Okay.
Both bridge pickup, flat out on both.
Right. Okay.
That's the first one.
Man, that's hard. No, I'm terrible at this. If I had to guess again, I'd say PRS was second. The one you've got in your hand now.
Take blindfold off.
Oh my god.
It's the Fender.
There you go.
It's so strange how
Yeah,
it
it
just
is.
completely. I had a feeling what I was trying to listen out for. I just got lucky with mine. I
It's all in the
suppose.
mind,
But
folks.
yeah, that's it. But if anything, it proves that actually, sound-wise, it's nailed on to that what it's supposed to be. It's just that it feels like
That's
its
right.
own thing.
Yeah.
So I think we've nailed that point home enough, and that's the takeaway from me. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on another video.